We were working here with the set of House of Cards and going down to Baltimore from New York. I started spending some time in D.C. I have a very good friend who introduced me to Mrs. Hand, and I fell in love with her jewelry, and I think it's all very inspiring coming to the capital, the most powerful city in the world, and being inspired by the whole theme of federal and, patriotic jewelry. And I think it just sort of kind of works simultaneously. And I think that as a creative, and the creativity kind of like doesn't time everything, right? Everything sort of like meshes together. So I feel that it was great when Mrs. Hand offered to introduce me to some of her friends and clients in D.C. And who better than someone who knows the whole town like Mrs. Hand. I don't remember now. I'm blanking out. But they pulled a lot of things, and obviously they do multiples. We've also been working with the Good Wife, which is, they also did the same thing where they came in and they pulled all these clothes for for two of the cast members, the main characters. So it's interesting to see that people, even in the make-believe world, can relate to their characters to the clothes that I'm doing, which is all about empowering women and about making women feel powerful and in control and independent. And so I love that people can read that, they can read into it without me having to explain it to them. And I think that that's very, very powerful and telling that what I'm doing is really communicating, throughout, that message. I have a friend of mine who is a director in House of Cards, and we were out in the Hamptons, and we were hanging out and going to the beach and on the boats, and he essentially said, like, wait, like, why don't you send us some things and see if Robin Wright would like some of it. And so it was a direct contact, and it was by happenstance. It wasn't like I was, I zoned in on it. And so that led to working with the stylist, and the stylist wanted to pull more things. Yes, I mean, when we went to House of Cards, I met with Robin Wright, and obviously the fittings. I mean, depending on the set, most of the times I work very closely with the person that is wearing them. So it could be anybody. However, there's a lot of wrangling with the stylist. The stylists have a lot of control on what they want, and they basically have the measurements, etc., etc. Or a lot of times they'll just take the clothes and then they'll do the fittings. So a lot of it is, some of it is hands-on, some of it is not. It all depends how the team works. I think my clothes are very clean. They're not fussy. They're not about taking on people's personality. I think it's really about enhancing the woman and having the woman's personality come out and having people look at the woman rather than the clothes. And I think that that's very important for my work, because it's about women feeling good and about people noticing them rather than noticing the clothes. I have not met Dr. Biden. I have not met Dr. Biden, but we have a lot of friends in common, and a lot of people have said, "Oh, you need to meet Dr. Biden. She needs to be in your clothes." So it's an interesting thing that to have her come today and to actually finally meet her.